Hi and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Shannon Android and I have started this health and wellness family vlog to share my health and wellness experiences on this journey so far, and then also to share some of my family experiences that we go through as a family, some struggles and obstacles that we have had to overcome to be able to reach out to other parents who may be struggling with the same things and hopefully be able to help them. So one of the things that I wanted to talk to you guys about today, because I want to share our journey with this as well. When our son was younger, he was diagnosed with on the autism spectrum. He has persuasive development disorder and he's considered nonverbal. So he does talk. It's just very hard to understand him at times. He stutters really bad at times. He really has trouble getting things out that he wants to say, especially when he's really excited about something. It's like he wants to say it so bad and it's just not coming out. It's really hard to explain. I will introduce you to my son the next time that I do a video and have him show you or have him talk to you guys a little bit. You can see what I mean. All kids on the autism spectrum are different. Like, none of them are exactly the same. That's why it's on a spectrum. Like, you'll never find an autistic child who's exactly like the other child. It's what makes it so hard to study, because there's so many variables that take place. But one thing that they find common is that they have social problems, like social issues. Our son, he doesn't have like the classic autistic shakes or anything like that, but he does have sensory issues. He does not like his pants below his belly button. They have to be pulled up over his belly button. He does not like things touching his face or around his head. He has never liked wearing caps or hats or anything like that. Even in wintertime, he wears it for very minimal amounts of time and then ends up taking it off. So things like that. Anyways, what I really wanted to share with you guys is it has been a long journey just to get him to say the words that he does, to get him to be or want to talk more and socialize with other kids more and all sorts of things. We tried using he got an iPad from the county, and we had bought communication apps, and they're amazing. There's this one called what is it? Acorn, and it reminds me of like those spider webs that you did in school, where you have like the main point in the middle, and then it spiders off. And every time, like, so you choose how you want to start the sentence, and then it breaks off into how a sentence might go on from there. So if you say I, it breaks off into M, like AM or something like that. And then if you press I am, then it breaks off into something more like hungry, excited, or something like that. Or you can do I want, to play something or to go somewhere. So and the more you used it, it was like Google. So words that you used more often automatically popped up, and you could save them, and it worked really well for a while. But then we went into, because it was like he needed something a little more in depth to actually carry on a conversation with people. So we tried this new one that was working really well. But the problem is our son also struggles with spelling and pronunciation. And so if he doesn't recognize the square like pictures to press to make it say a word, to make it say a word so that it makes a complete sentence, he has to be able to read what that says, and he can't because he struggles and he's dyslexic. So he's got speech apraxia, which makes it difficult for him to talk anyways, with the autism problems colliding together with it, and at the same time he's dyslexic. So the school and I were literally hitting a brick wall. Like, we knew that he couldn't be the only child out there like that there had to be other children. But what were they using? Like, we didn't know. So we got in contact with a place called the Wiseman Center in Madison, Wisconsin. And just before our appointment was literally like a week away before they closed everything down due to COVID. And so they canceled everybody's appointment, and they kind of started going back through and doing like phone interviews. And now, this was back in March, April. We are just now going to be able to go back and do like the face-to-face interview and get him a medical device that he can it won't be, from my understanding, it's not going to be an iPad, but it'll be like a medical communication device that he'll actually be able to use to communicate with people so that they understand what he's saying, and so that he can get across what he needs, what he wants, and actually hold a conversation, because there's so much that he wants to talk about, but he just can't get it out. So I'm really excited to share our journey with the Wiseman Center in Madison. We're going to test out a couple different things just to see what works best for him. But I'm just so excited to finally get him there, and they can meet him in person. We can try a couple things and then try out some medical devices. The nice thing about this is it's actually covered by insurance. So before, like, if his iPad broke, that came out of our, out of pocket to get the screen fixed and everything like that. And it got to be really expensive. Like, he would bring it to a friend's house. Kids are rough and they don't, so he'd set it down somewhere and kids would like jump on, like, it'd be sitting on blankets and they'd run across and it like shattered. Oh my goodness. And it's not cheap to fix an iPad screen. It's like, depending on where you go, it's about $100 to $120 to get it fixed, depending on the type of iPad that you have as well. I'm sure others were more expensive. We had a cheaper one because it was older. So it was, but still, $100 every time it got broke. That was a lot of money. Like, we have 2 other kids, and it's not like we make a lot of money. So I was super excited to hear that if anything goes wrong with it, if it breaks, that it's basically that is covered by insurance, because it's viewed as a medical device. So I'm really excited. I will keep you guys updated. I just wanted to start you in on this journey a little bit because I want to share it with everybody. I want to reach out to other parents who may be struggling with the same thing. If I could give anybody advice, if you notice anything off about your child, it's better to play it safe than sorry. Like, I was that parent who, our son was our first child. He's our oldest. And people are like, don't you think it's weird that he doesn't make eye contact, or, he's not really talking or anything yet, or walking, and things, like he was really late. I was like, no, he could be just a late bloomer, just like me. Kids are different. But then by the time he was 3, like, 0 words, he was late for everything. The tantrums were getting worse because he didn't have a way to communicate or get what he needed or wanted across to us. It was awful, and I finally gave in, and got him tested. But it was hard because I didn't want to admit that anything was wrong with my child. It's a really hard thing to accept as a parent. Not that you don't care, but you feel like when you see your friends' kids eating all these milestones, and it's just really hard as a parent to admit that something is possibly wrong with your child. you feel like when you hear other parents talking, your friends and coworkers saying, "Oh, my child's done this, you're doing that, and what's your child doing?" It almost feels like a slap in the face. And even though they don't mean it like that, they're trying to carry on a friendly conversation. That is honestly what it feels like when you have a child who is struggling and you're not ready to admit to it. Like it's really hard and it's sad because you feel like when people ask you those questions, when you're that they're that they're they're telling you that your child is stupid or retarded, and that's not what they mean. That's just how it felt in the beginning, and it was extremely hard for me to get over that, and get him the help that he needed. I mean, I finally did admit, I was like, okay, something's not right. I know we gotta do something. Let's just do it. Let's see what's going on. Maybe I am right. Maybe he's just a late bloomer for things. But nope, that's not what the case was. And when he was diagnosed through the county, then we got him diagnosed on the federal level, because they have to do they have like their own child psychologist that your child will go through to get them on SSI. The school gets together with the county and they do their thing, and then the school also creates an IEP for your child, which is an individualized educational plan for your child. You sit down as a group and you come up with educational goals that you want your child to work on and meet. And then they work on that in school. And then there's also in-home therapies as well. But again, that gets cut off at a certain age because they think that it's doubling services, which it really isn't. But to cut costs, they said that it was doubling services. So they cut a lot of children off after, I believe, the age of 9. So between like 9 and 18, a lot of kids lost services. But anyways, I just kind of wanted to fill you guys in a little bit and keep you updated with this new journey that we're about to start with our son, and I'm really excited. So I hope you guys have a good night, and I will see you later. Bye.